Hello everyone, and welcome back to Scary Story. Tonight I have a tale that will make you think twice before getting into a stranger's car, even if it's a rideshare. It's about a simple night out that turned into a journey of absolute terror. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. And the story starts with Leo, a college student who had just finished a late-night study session at the library. It was past midnight, and the campus was deserted. The last bus had left hours ago, and a cold, persistent drizzle was starting to fall. Leo pulled out his phone and booked a rideshare. It was his usual routine, something he'd done 100 times before without a second thought. A few minutes later his phone buzzed. His ride was here, a dark, nondescript sedan. Leo hurried through the rain and hopped into the back seat. "Hi, thanks for picking me up," he said, shaking the water from his jacket. The driver, a silhouette in the dim light, just grunted in response. Leo didn't think much of it. Some drivers were chatty, others weren't. He gave the driver his address and leaned back, scrolling through his phone. The car pulled away from the curb, its wipers swishing rhythmically against the glass. For the first 10 minutes, everything seemed normal. The car followed the familiar route from campus toward his apartment complex. The city lights blurred past the rain-streaked windows. But then Leo noticed something odd. The driver missed the turn onto his street. "Hey, you were supposed to turn back there," Leo said, leaning forward. The driver didn't answer. He just kept driving straight, heading toward the industrial outskirts of the town. "Excuse me? My apartment is the other way," Leo insisted, his voice a little firmer this time. Still, there was no response. The driver's silence was heavy, unnerving. Leo's heart began to beat faster. He tried the door handle, locked. He tried the window button, also locked. A cold knot of dread formed in his stomach. This wasn't a simple mistake. This was intentional. He looked at the driver's profile in the app again. The picture was of a smiling, middle-aged man, but the person driving the car was different. The silhouette was younger, thinner. The car's license plate also didn't match the one in the app. Panic set in. He had gotten into the wrong car. "Who are you? Where are you taking me?" Leo demanded, his voice trembling. The driver finally turned his head slightly, and in the faint glow of a passing streetlight, Leo saw his face. It was pale, with eyes that seemed hollow and empty. A faint, unsettling smile played on his lips. The driver didn't say a word. He just turned his attention back to the road, his strange smile never wavering. They were now in a part of town Leo didn't recognize. The streets were lined with abandoned warehouses and dark, empty lots. The rain was coming down harder now, drumming on the roof of the car like frantic fingers. Leo's mind raced. He had to get out. He thought about calling the police, but he was afraid of what the driver might do. He decided to pretend he was on the phone with a friend. He put the phone to his ear and spoke loudly. "Yeah, Mark, I'm on my way. I've shared my location with you. The driver took a weird turn, but I see you're tracking me. The car is a black sedan, license plate." He made up a license plate number, hoping it would spook the driver. The driver's smile faltered for a second. He glanced at Leo in the rearview mirror, his empty eyes narrowing. The car seemed to speed up. Leo's bluff hadn't worked. Now the driver knew he was scared. The car swerved abruptly down a narrow, unpaved alley, bouncing over potholes. It was pitch black here, far from any streetlights. The only illumination came from the car's own headlights, cutting a narrow path through the darkness and the downpour. Leo's hope began to fade. This was it. No one knew where he was. The car finally screeched to a halt behind a dilapidated warehouse. The engine cut out, and the world was plunged into a terrifying silence, broken only by the sound of the rain. The driver turned around fully now. His face was gaunt, his skin almost translucent. That chilling smile returned. "We're here," he whispered, his voice raspy and dry, like dead leaves skittering across pavement. It was the first time he had spoken, and the sound sent a shiver down Leo's spine. "What do you want?" Leo stammered, pressing himself against the door. The driver just stared at him, that unnerving smile fixed on his face. He slowly reached into the passenger seat and picked up a large, heavy-looking duffel bag. The sound of the zipper opening was painfully loud in the confined space. Leo's heart hammered against his ribs. He couldn't see what was in the bag, but his imagination filled in the terrifying blanks. This was his last chance. Adrenaline surged through him. As the driver was preoccupied with the bag, Leo braced his feet against the front seat and threw all his weight against his door. It didn't budge. He tried again, kicking with all his might. The driver looked up, his smile replaced by a flicker of annoyance. He started to move toward the back seat. It was now or never. Leo saw the child lock switch on the door, just below the handle. It was disengaged. Why? He didn't have time to question it. He pulled the handle and kicked the door with every ounce of strength he had left. There was a loud crack, and the door flew open. Leo scrambled out of the car and into the mud and pouring rain. He didn't look back, he just ran. He ran blindly through the dark, deserted industrial park, his lungs burning, his feet slipping in the mud. He could hear the car door slam shut behind him and the engine roar back to life. Headlights sliced through the darkness, searching for him. He ducked behind a stack of rusty barrels, holding his breath, praying the driver wouldn't see him. The car idled for a moment, its lights scanning the area like a predator. Leo's body shook uncontrollably from both the cold and the fear. After what felt like an eternity, the car slowly pulled away and disappeared back down the alley. Leo stayed hidden for several more minutes, too terrified to move. When he was sure the coast was clear, he pulled out his phone. His hands were shaking so much he could barely dial. He called 911, his voice a choked whisper as he tried to explain what had happened and where he was. The police found him, huddled and soaked, half an hour later. They took his statement, but they were grim. Rideshare-related incidents like this, often involving fake drivers, were becoming more common. They searched the area, but found nothing. The car and its mysterious, silent driver had vanished into the night as if they were never there. Leo never found out who that man was or what he wanted. He never forgot those hollow eyes or that terrifying, silent smile. The police suspected it was a ghost car preying on unsuspecting passengers, leaving popular spots late at night. Leo was just one of the lucky ones who got away. He never took a rideshare late at night again. Every time he sees a dark sedan, a chill runs down his spine, and he remembers the night he took a ride into the heart of darkness. So the next time you book a ride, double check everything. The license plate, the driver's photo, the car model. It might seem like a small thing, but it could be the one thing that keeps you safe from a ride you'll never return from. Thank you for listening to Scary Story. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, share and subscribe for more chilling content. Stay safe out there and always check your ride. See you next time.